Hey everyone, what's up? So today I'm going to be talking about the all-new Magibullet archetype. So to start off, I want to talk about an effect that every Magibullet has. It's going to let you activate your spell and trap Magibullet cards right from your hand. So that means you basically don't have to set stuff in this deck. So it's really cool, it's a lot of fun. It's really one of those kind of like brain-dead decks, I guess, like Yosenju's, Klee, Monarch, stuff like that. But I found this deck so much more fun than any of that stuff. Like, even though it's just another deck that doesn't require a whole lot of skill, it's actually a lot of fun to play. I've been enjoying it so much. I haven't lost a single game with this build yet. I've just been having so much fun with it. It's such a good deck. So to get right into it, I'm going to discuss this guy later since he's the boss monster. So I'm just going to skip past him for now. So the first card is Shooter Calamity. So what this guy's going to do is they all have an effect that when you activate any spell or trap in the same column as them, well, whenever a spell or trap is activated in the same column as them, they're going to activate another effect. So Calamity's effect is to summon a Magibullet from your graveyard. Now I'm only playing this card at 1 because I don't want to see it in my hand a whole lot. I want to be able to search it into my hand or draw into it from an effect or something. Because turn 1, this card's basically really useless. I'd rather draw something that's going to special summon from my deck or search from my deck. And speaking of searching, that's exactly what Shooter Casper does. Personally, I'm going to say Shooter Casper is the best one in this deck, because once the spell or trap's used in the same column, you get to search a Magibullet card, not just a monster, a card with a different name than the one that you activated from your deck and put in your hand. So, the cards that I usually go for is Cross Dominator or Never Endorphin. But you always have a spell trap negate, a banish, and a continuous trap. Next is Shooter Doctor. This is another one I'm playing at 1 because its effect is basically Casper's, but it takes from the grave. So it's again an effect that I don't want turn 1 because I'm not really going to get any use out of having nothing in my grave. Then there's Shooter Star. This one's okay because you can just activate, you can just special summon from your deck. But if you don't open more than one spell or trap, which I've actually had happen, which is pretty surprising for 17 spells and 16 traps, I've occasionally only opened one spell or trap, or I've opened 2 and it would be Cross Dominator or Never Endorphin. I won't be able to use it right on the spot. I've thought about 2, but I still really like this card. It's still going to get me a lot of advantage for free. And then once I use this and get Casper, and then I can activate something on Casper, generate search. Still a really good card overall. My second favorite is Shooter the Kid. This one's basically Graceful Charity. You're going to discard a Magibullet card and draw 2 cards. Plain and simple, free advantage. It's generally an awesome card. Then is Shooter Wild. This is the only card that interacts with my grave that I'm going to play at 2, because this is more of a late game card, and you're gonna want it in your hand. I'm gonna say turn 2 or 3. You're gonna want it in your hand around then. So it's okay to search for it. Drawing into it's preferable, but if you have the 3 in your grave and you have Casper or Kid on your field, this is okay to search into. Now I'm going to talk about the boss monster, Magibullet Fiend Zamiel. So what this guy does is you can tribute 1 Magibullet instead of tributing 2 to summon him, and then this guy is it's kind of like a super rejuvenation type card. So during your opponent's end phase, you draw 1 card for each Magibullet you activated that turn while this card's face up on the field. So it's insane. Like I said, it's a super rejuve on your opponent's turn. Next, I'm playing 2 Garnet along with triple Brilliant Fusion since all these dudes are light. I usually pitch Samuel because Calamity can summon it from the grave. And also, you don't want to draw into it too often. I only play it at 2 because I can pitch into grave, or say I have it in my hand, I can Brilliant Fusion, tribute whatever, summon it. It's pretty cool. Triple Dark World Dealing. You activate it. You chain your Magibullet effect. So say you have Casper, you activate this in the column of Casper, you get your search, you get your draw, really good. Double summon, this deck is a normal summon deck, I'm going to say that right now. It's definitely a normal summon deck, so this card's actually pretty good right now. I want to say double summon's like at its peak of use right now. I've been actually seeing people play double summon quite a bit. It's a good one of right now, especially since it's going to just be a spell that you can just play down, activate the effect, activate your Magibullet. Good card. Then there's triple Magibullet Cross Dominator. So aside from just setting their attack and defense to 0, it also negates their effects. So since you can activate your Magibullet cards from your hand when you have a Magibullet monster on the field, this means Cross Dominators is basically a better version of Effect Veiler. So that's really awesome. And also, since you can use it in the battle phase and just make your opponent's monster attack 0, you can remove a lot of problems. Like, say your opponent makes Omega and decides to attack with it, Cross Dominator instead. There's nothing they can do, it's out of your way. You don't need to worry about the best level 8 synchro in the game. Magibullet Never End Dolphin, it's going to double the attack and defense of your Magibullet. So, it's a good card, just get around problems, because this deck is full of, like, weak stuff. Like, say you get caught against, like, an S39, a Decode Talker, you have ways of getting around it. You have ways of also getting around, like, Verilode Dragon. This deck can compete pretty decently against a Masterpiece, since with Never End Dolphin, it's going to have Calamity, Shooter the Kid, Shooter Wild, and Zamiel to get around it. So you have outs to True Dracos. Next is Triple Ties of the Brethren. This card is crazy in this deck. You activate it on a column, like I'm just gonna use Casper for example every time, I guess. You activate it on your column, you search your monster, you summon 2 more monsters. Awesome card. You can even search like a spell or trap with Casper. So when you summon your next 2 cards, you can activate your whatever card that you searched, then play in the column of Kid or play in the column of Doctor, get their effect off. Upstart, same reason as Dark World Dealing, basically. It's just like a spell you can play right out of your hand, get the effect, get your Magibullet effect. Really basic, really simple. Makes a 39 card deck. Magibullet Dancing Needle. This card deals with so much so quickly. Like, it can out your True Draco opponent, it can out their ABC. This card is so awesome. Even against Zodiac, you can get rid of the rat, you can get rid of whatever they're like, whenever they go for Emerald, you can just be like, no, that thing's out of here. Whatever they target with Mysis Radiant, that thing's out of here. Awesome card. It just defeats so much by itself. Dead Man's Burst, it's a spell and trap negate. Plain and simple, counter trap, you can play it from your hand. Awesome. Your opponent goes for Barrage, that's gone. Your opponent goes for Union Hanger, that's gone. Your opponent goes for Diagram, that's gone. It's so good. Your opponent can't destroy it either, because since it's in your hand, you're just going to get it right out of the way. Next is 1 Devil's Deal. So, Magibullets can't be destroyed by card effects, and if this card is destroyed and sent to the grave, then you get a Magibullet card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. I'm only playing this card at 1, because Magibullets struggle if they have anything in their back row that you can't immediately get rid of. The only reason I'm playing Brilliant Fusion at 3 is because it's so easy just to because you want to make Seraphinite, you want to get your normal summon, plain and simple. But Devil's Deal is just 1 continuous effect. If you have 1 in your hand, 1 in the field, that's not going to serve any purpose except clogging up your hand, and then when you play it, if you do decide, oh, I'm going to play the second Devil's Deal, then you're just clogging up your back row even more. You want your back row to be as open as possible, so you can play as many Magibullet effects as possible. Alright, so next is Seraphinite, for obvious reason. Akashi Magician, it uses 2 monsters of the same type, and when link summoned, it will return all monsters it points to, so it's 1 of your opponents and 1 of yours. The second effect doesn't really matter, so I'm not going to really get into it. Next is Varolo Dragon. I think I've talked about this card before, but I'll talk about it again. It's not affected by monster effects. Once per turn, during either player's turn, it can target a face-up monster and have it lose 500 attack and 500 defense. Your opponent can't respond to that effect. And at the start of the damage, if it attacks opponent monster, it takes control of that monster and then sends it to the grave during the next end phase. Really cool monster. The reason I'm playing Lynx in this deck is because, say I have Devil's Deal or Brilliant Fusion behind one of my Magibullets, I have no way to get rid of that, so what I want to do is just get rid of the Magibullet instead, and then just play around that continuous card on the field. It makes a lot of sense when you see it, but on paper it might sound confusing to you guys. But I always want to be getting my Magibullet effects, and I can play with 4 monsters. If I need the 5th, I need the 5th, but you can play with 4 main monster zones. It's fine. The deck works fine with 4. It works fine with 3, it works fine with 2. 1 is pushing it, but the deck can play without a completely full field. And also, Varolo Dragon is awesome. Kashi Magician has a nice effect that it doesn't target. Cool cards. Abyss Dweller, because Abyss Dweller. Also deal True Dracos. Not much else. It's kind of just there because obvious reasons. Castell because Detach 2. Emerald is going to get my monsters back, obviously. Dark Rebellion is Dark Rebellion. Alucard, there's really not a whole lot to talk about with this extra deck. 101 because 101. Ragna because True Dracos. 39, S39. Nightmare Shark is mainly just because there's a lot of level 3s and I can attack for 2,000 for free. Break Sword and Tornado Dragon. So yeah, this is my build. It's I haven't had any problems with it yet. Just like every kind of every normal summon deck, it's going to brick occasionally, but this deck can work around it pretty nicely with all the search power it has, all the draw power. Awesome deck. It's a lot of fun, guys. So that's my deck pro. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, please. Also, you can find the Twitch channel and the Facebook page down in the description below, so check those out, give them likes, subscribes, follows, whatever. And that's it, guys. Have a nice night.